Another cold, foggy workout. Watching Jimmy Kimmel live last night, this morning on YouTube, and he was talking about scented candles. And you're thinking, why would Jimmy Kimmel be talking about scented candles? But what happened was, scented candles are very popular on the internet and on Amazon, and they have very high rankings. This one particular company, I can't remember who it was. But anyways, around March, April, and all through the summer, and throughout this year, rankings have just plummeted, and they've always been really steady for years and years. And then come this year, the scented candles, pumpkin spice, lavender, all these candles, their ratings went down, and they were getting really snarky comments like, this company used to be so good, and now your candles don't smell. I even bought another one. I had one replaced, and this one doesn't smell either. What's going on? Well, what was going on is COVID. These people probably had COVID because one of the symptoms is you can't smell or taste anything. So, very interesting to look at statistical data like that. And Jimmy showed that some person crunched the numbers and made these graphs, and you can definitely see for years and years the ratings were very high, and then they started taking a nosedive when COVID started hitting the United States. Sticking with my training program from Nato Konova, the great Italian coach who coached Italian Olympians and then has worked with East Africans throughout the years, and he kind of flips the whole paradigm on its head, and he basically does the faster stuff in the beginning and then more race-paced stuff towards the end when you're coming towards your race, instead of how so many programs are where you're doing a bunch of slow stuff and then you're doing fast stuff faster than your race. And he also believes in running the race pace in the majority of your workouts, and that's the reason why his athletes are so successful. He believes that that's what you need to do, and he says that the Kenyans want to run the pace of the workout, where Americans tend to want to finish the workout. So like I've said before, if they're at a workout and they're supposed to do 10 times a kilometer, Americans want to finish up all 10K, where the Kenyans want to run them as fast as they can, race pace, and then if they fall off, they fall off. So I also kind of harking back to Emil Zatopek, who in 1952, he had quite a few world records, and he was one of the first guys to really do a lot of interval training, and he won the 5K and 10K in the Helsinki Olympics 1952, and then he decided to just jump into the marathon, having never run a marathon before. And famously, he was running along with the Englishman who is a world record holder. I think his name is Peters, and they're at 15, 20 miles, somewhere around there. And Emil said, "Is this pace okay?" And the Englishman said, "No, it's too slow." So Emil threw down the hammer and won the gold. And so he became a triple, I think the only one to win the 5K, 10K, and the marathon all in one Olympics. Pretty amazing performance. He was from Czechoslovakia. And so he did a lot of training with interval training. And one of his workouts, he'd do 100 meters. And people would say, "Well, Emil, why are you doing this? You're racing to be, a 5K, 10K guy." And he would say, "I already know how to run slow. I want to learn how to run fast." So taking a page out of his book, today I was doing 1 minute repeats. Ended up doing 49 of them in 80 minutes. Now I'm going to get home and then head out to do some door dashing. I believe the national championship is being played for college football yesterday with Alabama and Ohio State. I personally don't watch college athletics anymore because I feel that they should be paid, especially football and basketball. And so I kind of boycott it. But my friend Rich Gonzalez from Prep Cal Track, he was tweeting yesterday some really great information. I really appreciated his tweets, talking about how many of the guys on the field were former track and field stars, and how football coaches, when I coach at Bakersfield High, they've won 7 state titles, and they would give us so much grief and try and keep the kids off our track team. And we'd be like, look, the sprinters get better, the jumpers get better, sprinting, jumping, throwing all make your athletes better, and you don't want to be just sitting there banging on the silly football practice year-round lifting weights. And so what I really is upsetting watching that, I've got to watch out for cars, is they would purposely make the kids ineligible during track season. Now, of course, a lot of the other teams in this country know that track athletes, track helps their athletes. So he was listing all the guys and all their events and all their times and things like that. It's pretty cool to see. And then I remembered when I was coaching at Bakersfield High, and I got invited by Rich and them. Nike has these coaches clinics, and they have one during cross-country season, and they have one during track season. And they always give you some really nice stuff too, like shoes, and they also give you I've got a jacket from them, a Nike jacket that I've been wearing now for decades, has coach on the back of it. I kind of wear it because it's so super comfortable. But anyways, Pete Carroll was the guest speaker, and everyone's thinking, why in the world would we have a football coach as a guest speaker? And this is when he was coaching at USC before now with the Seahawks, so quite a while ago. And I'll tell you, the guy is inspirational. I'm pretty jaded, but man, I would run through buildings for the man. Would love to play for him. Really great guy. But one of the things he did that totally won us over was he talked about how he didn't want, when he goes recruiting athletes, he looks for multi-sport athletes. He doesn't want a guy who only plays football. He said that. He goes, I want a guy who's, plays quarterback in basketball, plays shortstop, runs track and field, and that's just key. He goes, I don't want guys training year round, and he goes, I want them to be under competition and pressure all the time. And of course, track and field, they work on their speed and technique, work on, teamwork, especially with the relays and stuff. And so Pete Carroll often, was saying throughout the thing that his key to success is looking for those multi-sport athletes. And if he saw a kid, running track, he always really encouraged that and really was appreciative of the athlete putting in the work into that sport. So that's my take today. And as always, stay healthy, be boring, not epic.